We are live.
We are live.
We are live. John and I have been talking about our setups, realizing that we've got improvements to make. I hopefully sound a little better today. Newer microphone, or new microphone, I should say. Hopefully the levels are good.
I think it sounds pretty darn good on my end.
Mm-hmm. We've lowered John's sensitivity just a bit because he was coming in a little hot last week. All right, good. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it was bad. I guess I didn't look at it closely enough. I was using that Samsung USB mic, and then I remembered why I stopped using it 12 years ago. Because I didn't like it back then. It was so long ago. I didn't remember why I didn't like it. When I revisited it, I thought, I don't remember why I don't like this. It seems okay. I didn't spend a lot of time
Well, now that
zeroing in on
we're
it.
also,
Yeah.
now that we're not recording our individual audios, having the levels right is more important than ever.
It is. No, I can do a leveling function
Sure,
across
but
us both, and I tried to do that with the publishing last week's episode because you were really high and I was really low, and I ran it through a process to try to normalize us,
hmm
and that only does so much. What it did is it also brought out a lot of the noise because I was so low and had to be boosted so much.
sure.
Mine was just pretty noisy. Not. I mean, just there's a a hiss going on, which is just annoying. I did some testing this morning, and this microphone seems to be doing pretty well.
Nice. Let's see, we've got
Okay,
Jeremy, Klaus, Chris, and others that
welcome.
we don't know about because they haven't made comments. Is there a way to view to see who's all watching?
It's in the live. It should be because I know when
Well, I mean,
when you watch a
I
live
can see
stream.
how eight watching now, but it doesn't unless somebody
Oh, yeah,
actually
you don't know
posts
the
a
who.
chat. Yeah. Well, anyway,
Right.
to everyone else out there who is watching this morning, hello.
Are you wearing an interesting shirt today that we want to
Yes, it
comment
is.
on?
It is a polar bear in a closet.
Oh,
So it's very
okay.
subtle.
Well, I
It's
made up for
very
that.
subtle. No.
I've got a Cirque du Mac Party 4.0. Were you?
2007. So
Yeah. Were
what
you
was
there?
No, I was
You
not. What
weren't
was
there. That
Cirque
was
du
right.
Mac?
This was iPhone release year, right? So Cirque du Mac was a party held at Macworld Expo every year for a while, invitation only, kind of insiders, press, and otherwise. And because I had an in, I was able to get an invite.
Nice.
And I can't remember which year was which. I think I went. Well, the year that we saw Devo, that what was that event? That was just a
That was
that wasn't
Microsoft Office event. That was
okay.
Microsoft hosting that.
So it was a different year that I went to Cirque du Mac, and the thing they would always do is they would keep the musical guests as a surprise.
Hmm.
And I showed up to this small place, and the musical guest was Cheap Trick,
Wow.
which was kind of wild. But anyway,
Yeah, but all right. So I have to say, one of the most disappointing things about Devo was, do you remember how we ended up leaving after like one song because they had the music
yeah,
so
it was
incredibly
loud.
loud? I mean, just literally painfully loud.
Can't they turn that music down?
Get off my lawn, Devo. Blondie one, my friend Joe. I was talking about him the other week where he got the Instant Mac collection. I see he is in the comments watching us this morning. So good morning, Joe.
All right, let's get going. Okay.
All right, yeah.
Um, set up here. All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 564, February 14th, 2021. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
Hopefully the audio sounds better. We were talking to the the live YouTube audience about recording issues. I have a new microphone now, so hopefully that's making all the difference. I can certainly hear it in my head. Now, I'm finally using a microphone that has live, zero latency monitoring. So
Yeah, that was very weird when we first tried starting to do this, and if you had even a slight delay of the audio in your ear to you talking, it made you do some very weird things, like either try to speed up talking or slow down talking. It was very bizarre.
Yeah, if you want to hear your own, you got to have it running right to the microphone, which is what this does. So hopefully that solves a lot of these issues. Well, what's new with you?
Well, I mean, what is new with me is what we were going to guys basically talk about for the main section of the podcast, which is scuzzy things and scuzzy dilemmas. Yes.
Okay, because you're working through your own right now, so I thought we'd talk about that. Let's see, we got. I was going to say new members, but haven't had a lot show up in Facebook. There may be a few, but
I swear there were some, and I tried to find them. Unless we've got they're like, yeah, screw this, it's taking too long. We've got the public RetroMacCast Facebook page, and then we've got the other one, and I don't know if they maybe subscribed.
We have two
this morning. Yeah, because we've got the one so we can post as an entity, RetroMacCast.
Oh, right. Yeah, there is the entity.
Yes.
That we created in a lab.
Right. Yes.
We put braziers on our head. If anybody knows that reference.
From my heart and from my head, why don't people understand my obsession? Woo!
Wow. You recalled way more than I do. The lyrics to this.
Come on.
Is that the theme
Boingo
song?
Boingo, dude. Yeah, that was
wow.
Weird Science.
Yeah.
Boingo,
well,
Boingo,
I knew it was
man.
Weird Science. I didn't know the lyrics to the song, but good for you. There's the entity RetroMacCast, and then there's the group. But no new members to the group. Okay, well, why don't we take a quick break and come back with some eBay finds? All righty. Let's see.
How to make scuzzy work for you for fun and profit. All right. Am I doing the lot of the old Apple Macintosh lot?
Yes, you are.
IBM? All right.
You got that.
I can do that.
Okay. There you go.
I will be in just... Okay, well, that's all there's to it. Yes, I am ready.
In 3, 2, 1. It is time for the eBay finds. Last week we had that audio cassette, the guided tour to Macintosh, sealed, mostly sealed. Looks like there's some tears in the plastic, but it's still there. That one did not sell. It had a $10 starting bid, which is pretty reasonable. The starting bid has dropped down to $9.50. That one ends on Friday. And then there was that Quadra 950, but we were more interested in what wasn't for sale, right? That prototype Macintosh monitor that was in the photos, but not in the listing. That one, they say, is still available for $950. Buy it now or make an offer. And the Apple umbrella. Beautiful item. Like a waxed canvas or something with a great big 6-color Apple logo. Looks like a product of a Japanese marketing or whatever. Available, buy it now, still at $380. We'll begin this week with kind of a new old item. Now, did you know MacFX made these? This is the MacFX 8 megabyte memory card for Macintosh Portable.
Portable. Wow. Talk about a niche product, right?
Yeah. Now,
that
the description
amazing.
says, here's a picture of it. The description says that it was originally engineered by Tech Knight in 2014. The design was updated in 2020, and their card uses the the memory slot and not the PDS, so you still retain that. It features red activity LEDs for each bank of memory, uses genuine Toshiba memory chips. And they say these memory chips are no longer made, so quantity of them and thus this card is limited. It works on both the M5120 and the M5126. That would be the standard, and then the backlit, right? And there's some instructions in there. This is buy one for $129 or buy two for $122.55. Boy, you rock 8 megs in your Mac portable. That's pretty awesome. I think it was standard with 1, I believe, or it could have been. I think maybe 1. I think maybe it was the standard configuration. So pretty cool. There's a picture of the box there. It does say that you have to use a jumper so that it'll recognize more than 5. Yeah, because I think 5 was the max regular you could even use.
Yeah, because it had one built onto the logic board, correct? And then probably a 4 meg card is my guess.
Maybe that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
You know, MacFX, as you know, since we're talking about them, you know they've got another Kickstarter on the way, right?
I do not know that.
Yeah, so
is that the keyboard or something?
Yes, yeah. To go along with their clear Apple IIe case, they're going to be starting a Kickstarter shortly for clear keyboard. They're doing a brand new keyboard, Alps keys, I believe, but it's a drop-in replacement for the 2E keyboard, clear keys, and the combination of the two looks outstanding. Once it actually does launch, we'll bring it up as part of the podcast. But I just figured since
I forget how we found out about it.
Mention that
it was an emailing list something or right?
Well, he's been posting it on Facebook also.
Okay,
updates. So
right.
Of course, I'm still waiting on my 2E case. There were a lot of delays getting the shipment from overseas, so I'm looking very forward to getting
you and me both.
Case.
I've got a space on the shelf for it.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So next we have, this is one of those talking about instant collections. This is a lot of old Apple Macintosh and IBM hardware. So kind of looking at the picture here, I can see a couple of what almost look like Zenith monitors, I'm thinking. Over on the right-hand side, I see a stack. I see what looks like a 2CI, a couple of Performas. I see some Macintosh monitors. Very nice. Not seeing... Oh my gosh, look at that Lisa. Holy cow. That Lisa needs a bath.
You got a Lisa 2 and a Plus that needs a bath. You're right. There's some TRS-80s there.
Okay, that's what those are. Those are not Zenith monitors. Those are TRS-80s. Wow.
2CX, Quadra 650, 7290. Some miscellaneous monitors and keyboards, all with a heavy
Mac
yellowing.
Plus.
There's an SI,
wowzers,
like a 6200 or some kind of Performa underneath that. A nice little collection of stuff. Even that Lisa
definitely
2
needs some cleaning though. Wow. So they will actually ship this, believe it or not. This has
Holy
15
smoke.
bids. It's at $500 right now. This has 4 days to go. Shipping for us would be $200, which would still possibly be worth it if as long as the overall price does not get. But of course,
you probably
how
want
is the person going to ship these things?
Oh, I know, and most of that stuff you could say just throw it in the dumpster for me. Don't.
Right? Yeah. Just send me these few things, please. Thanks. I saw the most heart-wrenching picture on Facebook. Speaking of shipping hardware, gentleman purchased a 5500, and by the time it got to him, I'd say the case was in about 30-40 parts. The CRT neck had gotten broken.
Oh,
just bad. These things can't really be shipped anymore.
Yeah,
without kid gloves.
Hard to come back after breaking your neck.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
well, yeah,
All
this
right.
is going to be a
What?
nice pickup, especially just for that Lisa.
Yeah. So
So,
anyone in Charleston, South Carolina area, if you don't want to get it shipped, I'm sure you could arrange pickup.
all right. Next, we have a PowerBook 550C with the original box documentation and software. Do you notice anything special about if you look at that picture there? Anything about the
Ooh, the
documentation that, or
hiragana,
even
katakana. I can never
there you
remember which
go,
is which.
there you go. This is a Japanese model. You can see the sticker on the
Yeah.
front of the box says Kanji Talk
Right. Mm-hmm.
7.5, and the description. Let's see. Does it say anything in the description? It just says just the standard specs. It doesn't really highlight and the fact that this is the Japanese model, but it is, and as a result, it's getting a lot of attention in the bidding. It's
Wow.
gone up
Yeah.
since I looked this up this morning, but it's got
My
31
goodness.
bids already. They've
And
gotten
it's
it up to
still got 5 days to go.
$660 already. 660.
Wow.
All right. Um,
I wonder though. It makes me wonder. Is it the fact that it has all the manuals and everything? Of course, is a big part of it. The box is in pristine shape.
well, it was only sold in Japan.
Right. Right. And here it is
It's
in Alexandria, Virginia,
Yeah,
which
and well,
is
yeah, you add the box, a pristine box, and all the document, and this is just it's a rarity. Um, so yeah, this is gosh, I can't even remember last time even seeing one of these for sale.
it's a beautiful machine. Really
It
fantastic.
is, and
Thing doesn't must not have gotten much use. I'm trying to get a better. Here we go. A better view of the trackpad,
well,
and
let's look through
because
some of these pictures.
you get the wear and tear in the middle of those trackpads, and this one doesn't
Uh,
look too smoothed out. A little bit
even the
maybe.
handle piece of the cardboard of the box was not removed.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of course, the port door is intact.
Is intact. Yeah, that's an important one.
The bags and packing material complete. Screen looks good,
Did
and
this one have the active matrix, color matrix, or passive?
um, good question. What screen did it have? Looks pretty clear and bright. I would
Wow,
say
that
active.
that front cover does look pretty bad, though,
Yeah,
doesn't
I
it?
was going to
Oh
pause
my
on
goodness!
the front lid has seen better days, but there are a
Wow, what
few
happened there?
scratches. I don't know what you can really do to help that. Yeah, it's kind of scratched up. So there was some use on this thing. Little feeder there, so that's good. Anyway, yeah, how high will this get? I mean, a lot of interest and again, a real rare one. So we'll find out next week. All right, we'll move on. Talk about your
Hang on
scuzzy
one
woes
moment.
or triumphs or whatever they are. I don't know. We'll find out.
Give me one moment here. I need to bring up. Boom. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm trying to bring up a Facebook page and
Mm-hmm.
oh, Facebook. All right.
All right.
I
Okay.
think I'm good.
Okay. We'll
Yeah.
count it
All right.
down
Okay.
in 3, 2, 1. Going to talk about SCSI for no other reason than John's been messing around with it lately, trying to
Well,
get things
well,
to
there
what?
is, but there is a reason, and there's a
Oh,
very cool reason. All right.
okay.
So what started me trying to play around with the finding a good SCSI drive is so a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the Macintosh TV, and there was the remote that had come up on eBay. One of our listeners, Mark Schwickerath, reached out to me. he got rid of his Macintosh TV. He found the remote recently, and he has offered to send it to me.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm like, well, I mean, that is unbelievably nice. I'm like, so is there anything I can do in return? And he's got an SE that he does not have a hard drive for. So I'm
Okay.
like, all right, well, I've got hard drives. I've got hard drive, and I do. What I don't have is working hard drives. So I have
A stack of hard
a
drives.
stack of hard drives, SCSI drives, all of which are no longer usable as SCSI hard drives to make great paperweights, what have you. So so I had about three in a box spares that were working at one point, of course. So I hooked them up. I opened up an external case, and I started messing with them. I thought I had success. I found a nice 100 meg drive, Quantum. So it wasn't, but it was an Apple. Didn't have the Apple sticker on it, but it was a Quantum. So I'm like, hey, this is awesome. Got 7.1 and 7.5 loaded on it, and the next day I came out to start putting some software on it, and dead.
Wow.
So I started going through some other boxes, trying to find something, and just drive after drive, no good.
Oh no.
And I know the SCSI itself is fine on the system because I do have, the drive that was in this external enclosure, which is an Ultra SCSI, works just fine. So I know that's not an issue. Also, so what I ended up doing for Mark is I have had a spare SCSI to SD, which is what you see hooked up on my SE30 right here. Just finished formatting a 16 gig SD card for it, so I'll be getting software loaded on that. So here's a question for everyone who's listening, who could chat. All right, tell me a game I should put on there for Mark. I know I'm going to put Crystal Quest on there because that's one of my favorite old school games, and whatever anyone puts in the chat, I will add that, as well as a bunch of other stuff, because 16 gigs is a lot of space on an old Mac. But
Yeah,
hey,
I think you can put all of them.
all
if you wanted to.
I'm just going to download Macintosh Garden, and no. So what I'm
Yeah.
going to do is, of course, I'm going to get a bunch of utilities on there for him. I did not using 7.1, and I will put 7.5 on there also. The max drive partition is 2 gigs. So his screen is not completely filled up with drive icons. What I did is I did 4 2 gig partitions. So which is still plenty of space.
So getting back to those SCSI drives
Yeah.
that are all on the
Did-
fritz. What do you
Right.
think happened? Well, you had the one running, and then it
And then it
came
died.
back.
Yeah.
It wasn't. What do you think happened to it?
I really don't know. I do.
It's not making any sounds or anything. It's just totally
Correct.
dead.
Yeah, it's just coming. So I'm guessing for that one it may have been maybe it was the board, because so the using SCSI Probe and a couple other drive utilities, it's seeing the drive.
Oh.
It's no longer seeing a capacity for the drive, which
Oh.
means that I don't know if the motor has completely died. I do know that there are some people on Facebook that have had old drives where the head sticks,
Yeah.
and there's things you can try to tap it to get it to unstick, but it's going to stick again. They have actually gone and taken apart the hard drives and destuck the heads, and actually
Destuck,
went in and
yes.
destuck. That is the
That's what it's
technical
called.
term.
Yes.
So I'm going to try that with these. I mean, I'm certainly not out anything if it doesn't work, but they do come apart with just regular Phillips head screws.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a try.
I
Thank goodness
I had read
for
somewhere.
SCSI to SDs, though. I have to say.
Oh yeah. Well, I somewhere I'd read about the rubber mounts
Yes.
decomposing.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about, is the decomposition of parts inside.
Yeah. and then
you
I
to
wonder
get
about,
gunny.
when you start opening these things up, I think hard drives manufactured in clean
In clean
environments.
rooms, sure, yes.
You don't want any contaminants on the
Well, all I can
surfaces
say
or
is
whatever.
I will do it out here, not in my house where I have 5 cats. So
Yeah.
that should help.
Yeah, I think 3 cats, I think, is the limit of how many you can have in a
Right?
room
Yeah.
and still call
After
it a clean
5,
room.
it's just right.
Yeah, it's just too many contaminants. Well, we got some recommendations on games you need to throw on there. Lots of them. Oregon Trail, Stunt Copter, Spectre, Lemmings, Glider, Star Wars.
Oh yes. Oh
Another
yes.
vote for
All
Spectre.
fantastic ones.
Lode
Spectre,
Runner,
man, Spectre is so good. Load Runner. Uh
Sim
huh. Yep.
City,
Yes.
Puck Cafe, the entire Zork trilogy, Oids, Nop or Ganop. I even know that one. Do you know
Pong.
Nop?
Yeah. It's Pong backwards.
You really? Is it just Pong, or is it
I
the
cannot
backwards
remember
way
the
of playing
details.
Pong where you throw the ball at
You
paddles?
control the ball at paddles. And
Yeah. Oh,
I'll
okay.
have to look.
Minotaur, the Labyrinths of Crete, Tetris. Yeah, lots of good ones in there. Well, great.
Well,
That's awesome. He
it
gets
is
a
going on it is going on an
huh?
SE though. Remember, it's going to have to be a black and white game. So
Yeah,
yes,
right.
all good
Or
suggestions. All things that will definitely.
right. Well, that's great. I mean, you get a remote, and he gets this awesome new life, and
Yes. Yep. And and I actually, I mean, as far as durability goes,
mhm.
I'm happy he's okay with the SCSI to SD because it's definitely a lot more future proof.
And really quickly, the SCSI to SD adapter. Remind folks where they can get their own.
Oh, goodness.
Where did you get yours?
Hang on 1 minute there.
All
I
right.
think when I ordered my first ones, it was actually I had to come from Australia,
Yeah,
but
that's what I remember. That site. Is there a new source?
there is an American, and it is code
Oh, Code SRC.
src.com.
Yes. Well, it's the same ones. It's just that they have a new
Oh wait,
store or whatever.
no, I'm sorry. I take that back. It is inertial computing is the
Inertial
American.
computing.
Yes,
Okay.
I think that is correct. If I am wrong, I apologize.
Yeah, inertial computing. Well, you can even buy them in packs of 10 there, and a lot of varieties, different configurations, even PowerBook editions there. So, yeah, go out to store.inertialcomputing.com. All right. Nop was Bungie's first game. Wow. I did not know that.
I bet you
I got
that
to look
was
that
a
up.
quote from Joe. Joe knows his stuff.
Of course, everybody remembers that Bungie debuted Halo, right? On the Mac.
Oh no,
Like that
Scarlet
was,
Swordfish came out with the haha. Thank you,
aha.
Scarlet Swordfish.
Pong spelled backwards.
Pipe
The
dream.
first computer game created and published by Bungie Studios. 1990, almost a year before Bungie's official incorporation. Interesting. Huh. Some fans purchased the source code, which Bungie offered for $15.
Nice.
So there you go. Okay. Cool. All right. We're going to do some news. We got a lot of news to run
Can't no
through.
no. Unfortunately, there's no black and white version of Marathon. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's see. Need to switch over, share my screen, and whenever you're ready.
Off to the GNUs.
Whenever you're ready.
I am ready. Yes.
Okay. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. We've got a whole bunch of news stories to run through. A lot of activity out there. We'll start off with a nice little video by Action Retro. I don't see Action Retro in our chat. Sometimes we get Action Retro here, but he did a cool project where he hacked a Toshiba Libretto, one of those little tiny little laptops, to run Mac OS. But actually, is it really Mac OS? It's pre Mac OS. It's Rhapsody, a precursor to Mac OS that was distributed to developers for Intel platforms because it was the first version before the official release of the Mac OS for Intel. And he got it running on a Toshiba Libretto, and so he walks you through that. I didn't realize you can go out there on Macintosh Garden and download the disk images for that.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so that opens up lots of
Have to give that a
possibilities.
look.
Mm-hmm. So that's again, that's Action Retro over on YouTube. System 7 Today. Remember that website? System 7 Today is back. It had
Fantastic.
it was on hiatus for a while, and there's a story there. The original founder, Dan Palka, had kind of let it go dormant for a while, but he graciously allowed the folks over at Macintosh Garden to take over. So they're modernizing it, bringing it up to current web standards. I think they're going to reboot the forums too. So if you're a big fan of System 7, you go to system7today.com, and everything you want to know about System 7 is there. So, and this one, it's an older story. I don't know that we ever talked about it. This is the Apple Lisa X Fusion 360 project, and it was originally dated back in July of 2017. Did we ever? Does this sound familiar? Did we miss this, or have we just forgotten about it?
Either one of those is very possible.
So the designer here, Jinwoo Lee, in Korea, worked with Bill Professor, who designed the Apple Lisa. And the project was to restore the Lisa through 3D modeling in exacting detail using Fusion 360. And you can see from the pictures that the attention to detail is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Inside and out.
Yes. And of course, this opens up, especially with today's 3D printing capability, all kinds of possibilities. I mean, you can actually maybe even print at least the case, your own Apple Lisa. So look at some of those photos there. Is that how those buttons really looked? I guess I haven't looked at a Lisa that closely to see that that's what the ejection buttons for the disc look. But yeah, quite something. That's over there at just Google Lisa X Fusion.
Over at
and
yeah, okay.
Speaking of trying to boot your classic Mac, if you don't want to do it internally, you can do it externally through Floppy Emu at Big Mess Wires. They have a new
very
feature
excited.
Update.
Yeah, so I was very excited to see the firmware update that allows the best thing is it will let you emulate two 5.25-inch floppies at once, which was a big thing if you were playing any sort of game that had the program on one game and a save disk on another.
Yeah, there were so many often some it required both of those. You can see even in the example here, they're running two images of Zork side A and side B simultaneously.
Mm-hmm. So the other huge update is the WAS disk image format. So the WAS disk image format, I don't know if we've talked about applesauce, possibly not. There is and I'm sorry, I don't have the information on hand, but there's a gentleman who came up with a device that basically reads the flux patterns off of a floppy disk. So it actually reads the entire magnetic structure of a floppy disk.
Wow.
The WAS disk images it takes those and turns them into a WAS disk image,
Hmm.
And so it is, you know, completely accurate. It will copy. It will let you run the disk, whether it had the most bizarre copy protection or not, because it copies
Yeah.
everything over as it
Wow.
was. So this update lets you read and write to those images.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And of
fantastic
course,
stuff.
the floppy email will ship with this firmware, but you can download it too
Yeah, as
for
long as you've
your.
got the, I think it's the it's the later versions of the floppy emulator, the ones that have the black and white screen versus the LCD
Mm,
screen. So
yeah.
yeah, very good stuff. And then as far as like actual WAS images, there is a huge collection of them over on the Internet Archive. Most of them done by a gentleman who goes by the moniker of 4 a.m. So if you
Oh,
look for the 4 a.m. collection, you will find. So
cool.
what he's doing is he's going through using the original disc, so it's not like hacked or cracked versions. It is
Hmm.
the commercial release.
Nice. We'll
Yeah.
go on over to Big Mess O Wires and get your floppy emu if you don't already have one, or go there to get the latest firmware. Okay, and one last story here. Over on Hackaday, we have Recreating the Mac SE Logic Board by Matthew Carlson. John, what's this all about?
Um. Oh, sorry. I need to bring in my own links. Oh, just the fact that there is a effort to make brand new Mac SE logic boards. Something that again we're talking about kind of the advantages of having new hardware to do old things. Not that the SE logic boards were particularly problem prone, except for of course the what they all are now, which is the capacitors. So the fact that there is somebody that's going and working on new SE boards, I just love the fact that there are people taking advantage of the rapid prototyping technology and coming up with this sort of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of details over at 68K MLA. So I don't know if it's just a one-off creation, or is the idea to try to get kits, or maybe, because I think a lot of the work. I mean, not that building it's not a lot of work, but assembling the ingredients is
Oh my
probably
goodness,
equally
yeah,
daunting, right?
sure.
Um, so anyway, there's a huge account over there. So yeah, lots of activity going on out there in the RetroMac community, and I want to think if there's any new news with Apple. I know we're looking forward to probably a spring event. Usually happens in March. There's a chance that we might get yet another round of Macs with the M1, or whatever the next chip is.
But yeah,
Right.
things have been pretty darn quiet over in Cupertino, haven't they?
I am jonesing for that next version that uses the new chipset. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Klaus says indeed. I don't know. Indeed to what? New Macs, Klaus? What's your indeed response to?
Or just the fact that it's new SE boards, that's amazing,
Oh,
possibly.
well, there's a delay from where I see the comments. You're looking at
Right.
them real time, right? There's a quick.
I Yes, so well as real time as it can. So I
Uh-huh.
bring up YouTube and I'm watching it on YouTube versus the comment because I don't see the comments on the stream as readily as I do on YouTube. But of course, there's a delay between when we're talking before it actually shows up on YouTube. So it does get to be
Okay.
a bit of a disconnect.
It was
But
the SE boards he was excited about.
okay. So, but speaking of 3D printing, I'm going to show
Yes.
this. I don't want to do this on the audio part, but What? How many years ago did I get my
You got a 3D
3D
printer. This is
printer?
back when you first started experimenting with the little mini
All right,
cases. You
so
thought
it's been at least 3 years,
5?
4 years, 5 years. Oh, I don't want to say five. Anyway, I finally set up my 3D printer, and
You made
so
something.
I
Look at
made,
that. Isn't that
obviously
cute?
this is off of Thingiverse, but look at
Uh-huh.
this. This is printed as one piece,
How long did that
and
take
that
to
it
print?
took 3 hours to print.
3
But
hours. That's not so
yeah,
bad.
well, I did, and this was on the finest detail, and it is pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you can see the line still, but I was very happy with how little stranding there was.
Yeah.
So I actually got the printer set up about 3 weeks ago, and then immediately did something wrong that I had to take some of it apart to fix it. Which I guess is actually kind of par for the course for owning a 3D printer. I So there's two types of material. There's PLA and ABS for my printer. There's a lot more than that, but mine
Mm-hmm.
it's just those two.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran the PLA, which has got a much lower melting point at the temperature for the other one, and
Oh,
basically clogged up
yikes. The nozzles.
one of the hot end nozzle. So I got
Yeah.
that all back and running and fixed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And what are the
pretty
limits
happy.
of your print size?
I want to say it was roughly like 6 by 4 by 5, something along those lines. Big enough that if I wanted to print one of the mini Macs, I could print one of those.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you'd have to you don't have a model of it, do you, in 3D?
Well, there's quite a few out on Thingiverse. Option 8, Charles Mangan did a very
Oh
nice
yeah.
one.
No, I mean, well, but I mean the exact one that you used before.
No, no. I will have to try to make that. Which I've got the. I've got. Of course, I did those by hand. But I did turn all the shapes that I cut into Illustrator files. So, like the last one I
Oh,
made, I was
okay.
able to print it
Yeah.
out and give me the cut lines.
But
And
they're
I'm thinking
2D Illustrator
2D
files.
illustration, but I'm thinking I
Yeah.
might be able to bring most of those in to like 1 2 3
Hmm.
design or something like that, and
Yeah.
convert them into the faces for a 3D model.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a
Cool.
try. Yeah,
Well, nice. What after all these years, what was it that were you finally staring at it so long, or was there some
it's always
immediate
been at the
need?
back of my mind.
You saw that design for that little dinosaur thing and said, "Haha, this is the
That's
day."
it. This is it. This is the project. This is the killer app for my 3D printer. No,
You don't remember
I
what gave you the sudden
it was
spark to?
no, it was. I think it was finally just all right. I got to do something with this thing. I
Well,
am happy to say that for how much I spent for it, they still go for pretty much the same price. So at least I
oh,
don't feel like I'm using old technology.
yeah.
I did end up having to buy, instead of, there was a ton of freeware and open source software to take the files and turn them into something that the 3D printer understands. And I was having a hard time trying to wrap my head around some of that, but I found Simplify 123, Simplify 3D, I think maybe it is.
Hmm.
Anyway, it costs about $100 for the software, and it's one of those. It totally made it worth it because it was a one-stop application for getting the 3D printer to work. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
All right. Well,
yeah, yeah,
now that you know how to use the thing and it works,
yep.
here we go. There's all kinds of things you can possibly do. So
That is correct. Yes.
looking forward to it. Looking forward to the next kind of dinosaur that you're going to make. Is that
So,
will that be a cat toy? What do you even do with that thing? Is it a keychain?
I was thinking it would actually make a really cute
Pot
keychain,
holder? What do you?
but it does sit very nicely on the desk. Actually, it sits upright pretty nicely.
Nice.
I'm happy with it just as is. I'm very easily amused, people. Very easily amused. Okay.
Well, that's pretty interesting that it can do that. That's pretty. It's very intricate, and of course, obviously, they printed it in one
The
piece with
links,
all that.
right?
Yeah, with that kind of that.
Mhm.
mechanical motion or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap up the show.
So next week, I did have the idea of possibly how to do desktop images for the old Mac using new software. So you can. I don't know if that's something that sounds appealing, or if we have something else better on tap.
Sure, sounds fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still working to possibly get another interview with set up.
Yeah. What happened to the? There was the gentleman who was his dad, his uncle.
Yeah, he was trying to get his dad enticed in the idea of joining us, and I'm not sure that's going to happen. But he's talking about coming on. We chatted last night, but it was a little rushed to get him on today. So maybe next week. So we'll see how it goes.
Sounds
all right.
good.
Let's do some recording here.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. All right. Well, we're at the end of another episode of the RetroMacCast. If you were on the YouTube stream, you would have seen the results of John's foray into 3D printing. I think we've mentioned on the show many times about your 3D printer and how it has sat idle for
collecting dust.
Roughly 10 years now. No, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. We could check the record and we could find out exactly.
It's still bad.
Very bad, but he was inspired and made a cute little trinket. If you go on our YouTube channel, you can see it. It doesn't really do it justice to describe it here in audio. It is that amazing. No, I'm serious. It is really cool. I've seen a lot of first prints of these 3D printers, and you get like a little 3D model of a tugboat or something.
Or a tugboat,
yeah,
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, just something totally silly. But all right. Well, what do you think, John? What was your thought about next week?
Just one of my thoughts is, one of the things I love about the old Macs is customization, and even on the black and white Macs, you could do wallpapers, and I like to do, like I have on my SE30, I have a nice Adventure Time wallpaper, which of course there was, Adventure Time. I don't even think the people that worked on Adventure Time were born when the original Macintosh came out. Basically how to use new graphic software to prep making wallpapers for old Macintoshes.
Yeah. You'd think your inclination is that it'd be pretty easy, but it's not as easy as you would think to go back in time with the, first you got to worry about obviously size, but certainly there's resolution, and you got to decide about how you're going to go
techniques,
from
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. All right. And I think that's about it. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat. A lot of good feedback there. And we will be back next week. So until then, it's not old.
It's retro.
Perfect. I don't have to rush off this week. I can hang out a little bit. Wasn't it last week that I went out to go get brunch?
Yeah, you went to brunch, right?
Yeah, and it was...
of course, today is Valentine's Day.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. I forgot.
You
I'll make it up to you next year.
I made you this robot, and I tried to hint. No, actually, I am making eggs Benedict this morning for Valentine's Day breakfast.
Well, you mentioned that we talked about eggs Benedict last week, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah,
because I had my crab cake and fried green tomato eggs Benedict.
I don't have any crab. I wish I had some crab meat to do that, but
what kind of eggs Benedict? Regular?
Just regular Canadian bacon, hollandaise sauce, which I've never made before, so that'll be interesting to try.
It's an international treat. You've got the English muffin,
right?
The Canadian bacon,
yes, and
the eggs are from where?
Usually chicken.
Publix.
Usually chickens. Yeah.
But they're American chickens. So.
All I have to do is an ostrich egg, but that's all I need. Just the one. So
Nice. Well, fantastic. All right. Well, again, thanks everybody for joining us. Really do enjoy having an international audience.
all things DG. 3D eggs Benedict. I like that. All right.
Yeah.
Easily amused. Me.
All right, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Hope to see you next week. See ya.